Hello everybody, I'm going to try to walk you through the parent drop-off and pickup procedures at West Rapids Elementary School. That first image you saw was the first image you'll see as you enter our campus on the east side. The arrows will hopefully help, but much like I've talked to people about the middle school process, because that gets brought up a lot, sometimes the best laid system comes down to everybody following along. So what you're looking at right now are a group of cars coming in to simulate the drop-off procedure at West Rapids Elementary School. So something to keep in mind is that the driveway that they're entering is the driveway. That is a part in which to drive through. There should be no parking on any of that lane that you see them driving down right now. Parking should actually be in the central part of the lot. And you're going to want to keep this in mind. If you're going to park, see this last truck here? The last truck will turn into the parking lot, because if you miss that turn, you got to go all the way around the loop. So that last truck you'll see turning in kind of in the back of our screen. What can be confusing sometimes are the markings, but something to keep in mind is this. It's one single file line on the curb side. So again, if you're next to the curb, it's a single file line. There's never any hop, skipping, or jumping around that line. The outside lane, or the one further away from our screen right now, that's actually the one that you leave and drive out on. So you notice these vehicles right now, they're all starting to pull up, and just like a regular day, we'll get really good at pulling everybody forward and having a nice line with room in front. But you notice the front two cars didn't drop off yet, but that truck still pulled around. That's exactly what that outside lane is for. Once children are dropped off, to slowly pull around and exit the parking lot that way. Although the front cars are adults, this is a really good simulation of what we typically see for those that aren't used to car seats or prepared. That way they can get out of the doors and come in, and if they get hung up, the cars behind can leave the lane and drive around. Notice that front vehicle that just left, even that one pulled into the outside lane and then went around. The car that's leaving right now is kind of stuck in that lane because frankly there's nobody there and it can be confusing. What we might see due to a pretty significant size of car or lines, we might actually have to have cars all the way around the campus, all the way in that yellow line that van is still in, dropping kids off. So again, this was to simulate dropping off, and as you see people leaving, they're staying in that outside lane, so to speak, looping all the way around and exiting the parking lot. Right now you're going to see everybody turn to the left because frankly they're getting ready to stage to come back and pretend to do pickup. So again, hopefully that helps you with the drop-off. Anything on the curb side, there's no parking in the driveway, and I'll keep saying that. Driveways for driving, parking lots for parking. So the parking lot's what I would call that middle chunk where all the cars are parked. It's hard to not sound kind of like a smart aleck, but it really is. I mean, that's where they park. They park in the middle, not on the street side. So right now we're going to have you pretend that we're coming to pick kids up, and in this case, there's a ton going on behind the scenes that you won't see as a parent. And what you're not seeing as a parent is as cars are pulling up, we're actually getting ready to radio. We're going to use a radio system to call kids from their classrooms to walk down to the parent pickup lines. So you'll notice in all the scenarios we talked about, there were not people walking up to the building. Even with a smaller school, it's really difficult to have people walk up and get kids. The size and scope of our buildings right now, we really need to have people stay in their vehicles, or if they're going to park and come in the building, park and come in after we're done with the pickup and drop-off lines, because there will be some significant traffic. So right now, you have my partner in crime there, Mr. Linder, calling on the radio, which you can't see, but you'll have to trust that he's got that on him. He's actually calling in, and this is a lot quicker than in reality. It'll be really slow at first, the first week, the second week, but we'll get much better. So what you notice is Mr. Linder is going to each vehicle and identifying. We will try to be consistent in the staff that we use, but it might need a couple that will be out front, and we'll verbally call kids out from classrooms. And actually the part in real life, what you would see is we would actually start calling out much further or closer down to the road. But it's the same thing as I talked about in the drop-off line, where once the kids are in the cars, we pull out of this lane into the further lane and slowly exit the parking lot. You notice cars and even a staff. I mean, we're going to fall into that trap of parking over the walking line there. And part of that is we're going to do our best to avoid all walking traffic while that line goes through. In the mornings, you can imagine it's going to be really difficult. That's why we need adults outside, which we have even now in this case. I love that this random person from the construction company starts walking through. But you'll notice the truck is still waiting to get the kids going, and Mr. Linder is waving that car around. So it's nice to leave a little space. So the truck is still waiting, but the one behind him pulled into that outside lane to go around. and then the truck is ready with their kiddo and leaving. Now you'll notice the other cars kind of stacking up as they go. So now we have 3 vehicles. Parent pickup and drop-off lines can be a stressful time for everybody. We're going to ask for patience all the time, but even more so as we start training everybody in on this. Cannot stress enough that when you're in the driveway is for driving. You'll get sick of hearing me say that, but we really want to stress that to everybody. The driveway is for driving. The parking lot is in the middle of the driveway loop there. If you notice right above where this truck is about to stop on the walkway, there's a pallet and a bucket there. The pallet and the bucket will be gone, but the reason we put I don't know why the bucket's there, but I put the pallet there because frankly I got tired of even staff thinking that was because it looks so much like a driveway, but that's actually only for walking. The only place to enter the driveway is on this very east side there where you see these lines. So when you do come into campus, you'll notice those arrows there. You actually can go straight into the driveway or you can turn to get to the parking lot. I figured it'd be good to close with show you what's out back. Again, this is during construction, so there are vehicles parked out back. The back parking lot, so to speak, the one closer to the Grace Bible side, that's for buses. You'll see these really long diagonal white lines. That's for our buses to drop off. In the morning they'll drop off, not necessarily park, but in the afternoon all of the buses will line up and we'll walk the kids out, kind of like a mini middle school. But that whole north side, and you're seeing another version of it here, sorry, not north side, the whole west side there is all for transportation. There's no parking out back during the day, so even though you might see an empty lot, please don't park there. We're going to use that for our buses and transportation only, and during the day we'll actually use it for playground activities. So hopefully that was helpful. Have a great day, and we will see you at school.
Dad, you passed it.
Passed what? We're right on time.
But Dad, you're doing it wrong. Mommy doesn't do it like this.
We're gonna do it the Jack Butler method. What is this? This is nuts. Why are they all honking?
Because you're doing it wrong.
Tell me I'm doing it wrong. I know how to do this.
Hi, Jack. I'm Annette.
Hi.
You're doing it wrong.
See?
See, this is what I tell all my new mommies. We enter from the south and we exit from the north. And then we do just the reverse when we pick up. Swear, little ones don't have to walk between the cars to get to the learning facility. Okay, move it out. And remember, south to drop off, north to pick up.
Take them up. Okay, it's a good system.